This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so let's go and continue. I'll wait for it. It's too cold in Hyderabad, actually. I don't know. Many people did not come today. It's so cold today. I was coming in a bike from Manikonda, so I can understand how cold it is. Okay, fine, guys. Anyone has any questions? Today's class will be very, very, very important. I need a lot of participation. It's going to be very, very, very important. So let's go. We have something called as S3 bucket policies. So until now, what we have understood. So let's go. Let's get into. See, until now, what we understood, there is an AWS S3 bucket here. Okay, and there are certain folders are there, certain files are there. Now, so if anyone deletes the file, is when anyone is adding the file, everything is fine. But how an X people are getting permissions onto your bucket? For your example, I'll take a name. Maybe I'll take a name of maybe Yogender. So let's take an example. This is AWS S3 and this is AWS S3, which is present in account ID number 1. That is account ID number 1. That is my account, AWS account ID 1. Okay. Now let us take an example. Yogender is present here. Okay. Yogender is present here as an example. And Yogender wants to get an access. What is that? Only he need an access of get object. Only download the files, get object. So very simple is how Yogendra only I can provide an access onto my bucket. How do I go and provide an access onto my bucket? So it's very, very important. Like for your example, there is something called as Sandeep. And Sandeep, I want to provide a permission. So that is not get object, but he should only perform put object. And where is Sandeep present? Sandeep is present in account number 3. Yogender is present in account number, let's take an example 4. So I have one AWS account and I need another AWS people, okay, to have certain access. Only Yogender AWS account ID should have an access on only my bucket and they can do only downloads. Sandeep AWS account ID is 4 or 3. He should only add the files into AWS S3. If you want anything on my bucket, my AWS S3, anything which is related to permissions, I want to set some permissions. Let's take an example. I'll take another name. Ramakrishna is there. Like Ramakrishna is there, and I want to go and provide Ramakrishna what permissions? Only read only permissions, not download or anything. Only basically what is that list permission? How do I go and provide? And who is Ramakrishna? Ramakrishna is present in AWS account ID 5. His account ID is 5. How do I go and provide a permissions onto various people? So all these AWS S3 permissions will comes under AWS S3. Very, very important bucket policies. Okay, which is pending from my side. Is it clear, guys? See, I have an AWS S3. I have an AWS S3 and I need to go and provide a permissions. For your example, like Dikshit is there. A Dikshit is already an AWS account he's having. He will come up and say, sir, can you please provide me? I want to download that file. Only download that file I have to provide to Dikshit. Other people, let's take an example. Basically, other people like Sandeep, Yogender, they should only get put object, get object, delete object, full permissions. How do I go and provide my AWS S3 bucket permissions? So bucket permissions, that with the help of very properly AWS S3 bucket policies. If you don't know AWS S3 bucket policies, it is impossible to get a job. Or I'll explain you this time 2 times. because you have some another topic called as IAM, Identity Access Management, IAM policies you have. IAM policies, S3 policies, all the policies are same. So let us go through that S3 bucket policies. It is one of the most important topic in this 70 days. Again, I'm saying you, if you are not very good at this AWS S3 permissions policies, there are 70 to 80% of the chances you will not get any job, or you will get fired, or you will get rejected in the second round, first round. Very, very important. Sir, what is this JSON for? So let us go through. Very, very, very important. I'll invest some time. Anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'll invest very good time. So is it clear, first of all, what is S3 bucket policies? Clear? Anyone has any questions? S3 bucket policies is nothing but I have an AWS S3. Now I want to provide. In AWS S3, there is folder called as Kumar, and only X person should log into Kumar folder. Another person should not have any permission. I can define various permissions with S3 bucket policies. Now, what is S3 bucket policies? How it looks now? Don't be an idiot like me. When in 2005, when I passed out of my engineering college, I was one of the biggest idiots in my entire life. Maybe if I think about 2005, what is the knowledge I have it, I pity myself. It's so bad, I'll tell you what is the reason. Don't be like me. So what is my observation, what my thought process at that period of time? Sir, what is meant by this bucket policy? So example of a bucket policy is here. I'm going through a basics. So you have a neatly, how do you go and understand S3 bucket policies? They have been providing bucket policies. I'll go and provide you. Even these people have changed it. Okay. What is that class? It is simple. I need it, man. I don't require big. Let me show you this very simple one. Okay. They changed the documentation very recently. Okay. That was very good examples. Let me show. Let's go into that page. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me show you an example of how a bucket policy is there. I want to go for a most simplest bucket policy. Maybe they changed it. They changed it. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Okay, so let me explain how the bucket policy looks. All right, this is the one I was looking for it. Okay, so to write a bucket policy, I'll explain you how do you generate a bucket policy without any code. Let's talk about it. So first point you need to remember, if you are writing any bucket policy, so I have my AWS S3 and I need X guy to have an access. So to provide this access, I need to create a bucket policy, S3 bucket policy. Okay. How do you write a bucket policy? Please write it down. Bucket policies are written in JSON format. Okay. You write it in a JSON format. Now that's what I said you. I'll explain you about my stupidity. We'll talk about it, JSON format. You are going to write it in JSON format. Now the question comes into picture is, sir, what is this JSON format? You can go to my YouTube video and go and click on Agile Work and look for something called as, you will see in my video what is JSON. But you can go into that video, but I'll say you, what is this JSON format? Most of the people seeing this one, what is this one? Seeing this one, many people use a wrong word. Seeing a JSON, people come up and say, oh, this is a code. No, this is not the code. Please try to understand. Or it's a program. Sir, what is a JSON? JSON is a program. JSON is a code. No, JSON is a format. Okay, format. Is it clear? Sir, what is meant by a format? What is meant by a format? And what is JSON? It is so easy. In 2005, I was not having a job. So I was looking for how to get a job. So I learned mainframes, IBM mainframes. So during that mainframes, everything was there. Then the same thought process, like everything was there. How do you get a job? So I got an opportunity as a fresher, as an interview. So when I went for an interview, they did some basic interview and they said like, hey, they asked some questions in JSON. How do you write it? So I did not understood what is JSON at that period of time. Do you know to learn JSON? So it's so stupid to learn JSON, just to learn JSON. My friends like institute, right? Like 5-6 people. So there is one guy who said like, if you go and provide me 8,000 rupees, I will provide you what is JSON real time. So we gave, first of all, we was not having any money. We collected all the money. So myself 2,500, another person 2,000, another person 1,000, like that collected, and we gave it to me. He explained what is JSON for 5 hours. In my entire life, I never understood what is JSON. It was so horribly explained. I felt now, and that day only I decided, hey, IBM mainframes is not for me. It's tough. So because of JSON, sir. So because he was failed to explain properly what is JSON, it should not be in my case also. If I go and explain JSON in a very wrong way, it's shameful to me. Sir, what is meant by a JSON? JSON is nothing but a format. Sir, what is meant by a format? So for your example, let's take an example, a universal format. Sir, why do you require a JSON? If you take an example, I'll take a simple example. I will ask you, please, can you tell me something about yourself? What is your name? Okay, what is your name? Okay, what is your habits? Who's your father? Who's your mother? Who is your great grandfather? Who's your grandfather? What are the habits of great father? How do you write it? I'm asking you, I have a computer. Computer, you will give it. Okay, so I think I'll tell you very simple way. Have you written MSET exams? MSET exams in my age, MSET exam, if you want to get result, everything is people used to correct it. Today they are correcting. Why? What is that? Online. So you write an exam, there is a format where you will mark it which are the things. You provide that one to the computer. Computer will read it and it will come up and say out of 10 how much you got it. That is called as a format. Okay, a general format. 1 lakh people write an exam, 1 lakh people are coming with the same format. In the same way, if I ask you, please write the information about your father, what is your name, what is your father, like you will come up and say, okay, you will write it like, let's take an example. My name is, let's take an example, Dikshit. And what is your father name? And you'll come up and say, okay, my father, let's take an example. Father name is, okay, Senior Dikshit. You write it like this one. Okay, the same thing, if someone asks me, please write it down, what is your name and your father name, I might write like this one. I'll come up and say name is equal to, what is that? Kumar. Okay, father name is equal to, what is that? Senior Kumar. Yes or no? Is this format same? Now let's take an example. There are 60 people in the class. I'll ask, please provide your father name, mother name, and your name. 60 people will be giving me a paper which is having different formats. Yes or no? I don't want that one. Let us go and make one universal format. So people in the early days came up with a format called as, what is that? XML. But down the line, Google has proven if you add the data in XML, reading lot of data in XML will be slow. So they came up with a concept called as, what is that? JSON. Okay. Newly, what is that? Another one. What is that? YAML. So these things are not code. These things are formats. Is it clear? Format. Sir, how do I write a JSON format? I've already kept a video by taking Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru examples in my video. Go through that video on YouTube. Go to YouTube and click on, basically you'll clearly understand what is JSON. Okay, but let me explain you here also. Sir, what is JSON? Can you provide me an example? How do you write it? So people can write like this one. There it's a common format and there are some rules and regulations in that JSON format. Like for your example, so how do you write it? Like for your example, like take an example. This is a JSON format. Sir, how the JSON format will look? I am asking, hey Dikshit, please provide your mother name, father name, your sister name, your brother name, and your name. How do you write it, and what are their habit, and who's your brother, sisters, brothers? And if you go, so you will start like this and it ends like this. JSON format. And what I will write it, I want to write one common my name. So you will come up and specify basically what is that? What is that? Name. And how do you write it out, your name? You will come up and say, if it is a, I'll come up and specify what is that? Fine. Now this is one property. I want to go and provide Dikshit father also. He'll come up and say, I want to add it. So you will end with what is that? Comma. Okay. So comma. Very good. Now you will come up and specify. Everyone will come up and specify what is that? Father's name. Senior Dikshit. Fine. Now I'm asking, hey, can you tell me, Dikshit, what are the cars you like? It is one car or multiple cars you like it? Multiple cars. Like I'll ask you, hey Dikshit, can you please tell me what is your favorite cars? 3 cars. It is not one. What is your name? Only one. What is your father name? One. But if I ask you how many cars you like it, multiple, right? So you will write like this one. If it is multiple, you will write it a format. What is that? How many cars you like it? Multiple. So if you like it, it will start like this and end like this and comma. Okay, like you will come up and specify, hey, basically I like X car, I like, what is that? Multiple cars. What is that? Y car. Is it clear? Now I'll come up and ask you, let's which school? Again, it's a single school, right? Like again, it will come back and say, what is that? School is equal to, let's take an example, CCCC. Okay, done. So this is no comma, last line, and this is the way you write one JSON format. Is it clear? Anyone in the world who are writing a JSON format, it is a universal format. Universal format. If I want to send some data, universally all the languages will know how to read JSON. Universally, JSON and YAML are the two formats. I explained you how do you write a JSON. It's a format. It is just an information, a normal format, so that in computer world everyone can understand. If you write like this one, submit it. Maybe a programmer in Java wants to read the information about all the people. All the people will provide the details like this one. So the computer will read based on the name Dikshit. Dikshit, the father name. It's a common format. Hope you understood. Anyone has any questions? Online people, did you understood what is meant by a JSON format? This is nothing related to AWS. It is the most important topic in your life. JSON format. Any application in the entire world are talking to each other using JSON format. For your example, are you logging into LinkedIn, but you're not providing LinkedIn username and password? You are providing Gmail username and password. How the Gmail will able to exchange the data with LinkedIn? JSON format, JSON format, JSON format, JSON format. Is it clear? Online people, is it clear? Anyone Anyone has any questions? What is a JSON format?
Yeah, well explained, sir, and thank you for that.
Can you
And
format with a YouTube link? Yes, sir. Go back to YouTube and click for Agile Work. This is my channel, and here is the one. Basics of JSON. Here is the one. Basics of JSON. What, why, with examples. I took an example, like I just want to take an example of India. People know about Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Sanjeev Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi. So how did I written in a JSON format? How a programmer can read it. I have written a Python program as well as a PowerShell program to read the data. Both the examples I've provided here. Please take a look on this one. Okay. Any more questions? Is it clear, guys? Or any confusion in JSON? You should not be like me. If you have any questions, JSON is a format. So where do you use it? If one person wants to talk to another technology, one technology wants to talk to another technology, sir, how do I understand that both the people? Both the people can talk to exchange the data with the JSON format. You will get a more details when I write a programming, especially in Lambda functions. Hope you understood. Anyone has any questions? Online people, please confirm me if you have any confusions. No confusions, please let me know. If you are no doubts, I can continue.
hi, Kumar, sir.
Important.
Yugundhar here. Do you hear me?
Clear, guys? Wait a
Kumar,
minute, I
sir,
can't.
do you hear me?
1 minute. Oof, what is this? What is this? Okay, sorry. I to speak. Can you confirm once again, online people? Are you able to hear?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Can you
Yes.
speak?
Kumar,
Yes.
sir,
Yes,
Thank
can
you.
you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Kumar,
Okay.
sir,
So
Kumar, sir.
yes, Yogendra.
Yeah, thanks for explaining very detailedly. And in case of occurrences, suppose my like you said cars, right? That will be one or two cars. Like I want to be occurrence some particular field in the 100 times or 10 times. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that time also the same like cars only
Same
we need
thing.
to.
For your example, I want the total class information. So I'll go and copy it. You'll get a better idea when I talk about movies. See here, sir. See, I'll go and paste it here. And I want to go and provide, let's take an example of, I want to information about Kumar and like senior Kumar. Okay, like for your example, this is reading one data, this is another data. Okay, so for your example, it is not the correct time to explain, but wait a minute. You have IMDb. How many people knows IMDb? IMDb is all about fully about movies, right? See the real data of IMDb, real movie details of IMDb, real database. It is in JSON format. See the property, year, title of the movie, and if you have one director or multiple directors, multiple directors will come under what? Like square brackets. Release date. What is the type of this movie? It's only one type: action, drama, and everything. What is the URL of the movie? And you have multiple movies. See, second, third, all are in JSON format. All the things which are occurring, same properties. Got it, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you write a S3 bucket policy, S3 bucket policy is also in a JSON format. How the bucket policy is there? Please write it down. This is an example of a JSON property. Please write it down. The JSON starts with open forward brackets and it will close it. Then when you are writing a bucket, there is a first thing that is called as version 2022 1017. Keep it in your mind. That is not a date. Today's date is, oh, what is that one? January 24th. Let us go and change it to January 24th. Your JSON. That is actually JSON version. Don't get confused. If you go and change that value, it will not work. It will come up and say error in the JSON file, error in the JSON file, error in the JSON file. That is a JSON version. 2010 is one older version. 2012 they changed the version. Two things are there. So 2012 10 17 is a version. Now, so I want to provide a permission to Dikshit account. Dikshit person, Dikshit or anyone, or I want to make sure that my AWS S3 bucket is open to the entire world, or anyone in the world of AWS should have an access if you want it. So the second will be coming with what is that? Statement. I want to write a statement, AWS S3 statement. What is meant by a statement? Statement means what are you providing permissions to him? So in the statement, you will have multiple statements. That is the reason square bracket. Okay. Now, basically, what is that? First one, statement ID. Arey, sir, this permissions, what is this permission about? You want to write it, right? You can come up and say this statement ID is equal to permission for Dikshit if I want to provide a permission, or permission read only for everyone. So you can write a statement ID is nothing but a string. You can write something which will explain you why you are providing a permissions. Fine. Next, sir, am I providing a permission or revoking the permission? What should I do actually? There are two things, write it down. In effect, you can write allow and you can write deny. Both are right. You can write it down. I want to allow everyone except this guy. So what I will do? Allow everyone. But in the next statement, deny. Kader, what is that, sir? Khalid. Understood, right? I can mention those things. So write it down. Effect is equal to, you can write it down allow permissions, and it also, you can write it down deny permissions. Both are right. Please write it down. Very, very important. So I'll go through that examples. Sir, effect, I am providing a permission. Right now in this policy, I am providing a permissions. Okay, action. What permissions you are providing? What permissions I am providing? Okay, so S3 put object, S3 get object, S3 delete object. Now for your example, let me copy this one. Let me copy this one. For your example, for your example, see, there is something called as AWS S3. Okay, put object, AWS S3 put object ACL, AWS put manual. There are some permissions. I want to go and provide AWS S3 put permissions, put ACL. Instead of writing three things, right? It also supports regular expressions like this. What is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this one? Can anyone tell me? Anything which starts with put. So let us take an example. In AWS S3, there are three permissions: AWS S3 put object, AWS S3 put object ACL, AWS S3 put object archive. I want to provide three permissions. Instead of writing AWS S3 put object, comma, get object, like three things, you can write it down AWS S3 put start. Whatever which is permission which starts with put, all these things you will get it. For your example, can you tell me what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this one? Get object means people can download the file. Get object, I want to get the permissions of that one. I want to provide also. I can simply remove this one and I can come up and say, what is that? Star. Now you explain me properly. What is this? Please tell me. What is this? Good. AWS S3 full permissions. Is it clear? It is supporting regular expression. There is no need to write, array, give me put object, get object, delete everything. There is no need to write AWS S3 put object, get object, list object, that object, this object, so many permission. Just mention AWS S3 star. Means what? S3 full permission. All the things you will get it. Whatever you want, you can mention basically in action. And action, maybe let us take an example. You don't want to go and provide. You want to go and provide get object and put object. Then you can mention get object and put object. That is the reason. What is this one? Multiple means you can go and provide 1, comma 2. You can do like this. Is it clear? Sorry. Is it clear? I can mention like this one. Action is equal to, now I'm providing what actions I'm providing. I'm providing action AWS S3 get object and put object. So if you see version, statement, statement ID, effect, action. Fine. Next, resource. You are providing get object, put object to which bucket? What is the bucket name? Then you will provide resource is equal to ARN. You remember ARN number? ARN number of the bucket. And here also it supports regular expressions. For your example, there is a bucket name. I have a bucket name called as AWS bit. What is my bucket name? You go and provide my bucket name is AWS bit. my bucket name, and I'm providing basically what is that one, say I'm providing, so I am providing very simple AWS S3. Okay, you have one thing missing here, sir. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so this is the correct one. So let's go for it. We'll talk about it. What is this one? Resource is equal to which bucket? Resource is equal to which bucket? Bucket name I'm providing ARN. Let us take an example. There is a bucket name called as, for your easy things, there is a bucket name called as, what is the bucket name? Movies. Inside the movies, you have lot of movies. And I want to provide, array, this guy should only have Telugu movies only. If I mention this one, he has an access on all the full bucket. Inside the bucket, slash, what is that? Star means what? Inside the bucket, whatever files are there, no man, we should not go and provide. You can do like this. Means what? So inside a bucket name movies, there is a folder called as Telugu. Inside that folder, all the movies I can provide an access. Array, in Telugu, what did I have it? Into basically in Telugu, in Telugu folder, I have movies MP4 and songs lyricist in txt file, and I want to go and provide, these people should not download the movie, only the text file. You can mention like this. Means what? Any files which starts with text file, you can have it. All the regular expressions are supported here, so that is the reason you are providing a resource. Anyone has any questions, please let me know. Version, statement, statement ID, effect, action, resources. Yes or no? Now the question is, whom I am providing permission? To whom I am providing permission? That is completely missing. Who is that? Am I providing to Khalid or am I providing to Dikshit? Who is that? So that is here. Keep it in your mind. It is important. These people affect. So you can paste it here. That is called as, what is that? What is this? Principal. Principal is equal to, I can go and provide a Dikshit. Can you provide your AWS account? He will provide an AWS account, ARN IAM, account ID, and what is his user? He is logging as Dikshit. I'll go and provide Dikshit, and they we will have an access of, what is the permission? Get object, put object on which bucket? Movies bucket, Telugu folder, txt file. He will have an access on this one. You can also do like this. You can also do like this. You can also do like this. What is this? Everyone. Not only basically Dikshit, anyone in the AWS account, anyone from any AWS account, principal is equal to star. So if you see, what is the statement? Statement ID, I am allowing the permission to whom? Everyone. What are the actions they can do? Get objects, put objects. On which bucket? This is the bucket name. Anyone has any questions? Okay. Now I
Kumar sir,
want to go and provide. Everyone can do only Telugu txt file. But now I want to exclusively give Khalid full permission. Exclusively. It's not one. I can do like this one also. What is this one? Statement. I can copy this one, comma. I can come with another conditions. I'll come up and say, let's take an example only for, what is that name? Dikshit. Allowing the permissions, principal is equal to only that particular person name. This is the person name. Now, if you see, I can come up and say, can you tell me what's the meaning of this one? What's the meaning of this one? I am providing. So if you see, I am allowing the permission to whom? ARN of Dikshit, the Dikshit guide. What permissions? S3 star, full permissions. On which, what is the resource name? Book bucket, movie star. So what Dikshit can do? If you see, everyone can only, what they can do? They can only have a permission on Telugu folder. That too, what files? TXT files, all the TXT file. But Dikshit has the permission of all. Is it clear, right? You can write it down, and please write it down, sir. How much I can add the content? Please write it down. AWS S3 bucket policies, maximum size is 20 KB. AWS S3 maximum is 20 KB size. Did they change it? I don't know. Very recently, 3 or 4 days back, it got changed. Let's see. AWS S3 bucket policy size limit 20 KB, right? Okay, limit size 20 KB. So let's see. Actually, in that page only, it used to come with a lot of very good examples. See, maximum sizes. They changed it, sir. Yeah, I think I got it. They changed it. It is in JSON format. They changed it. That's a good one. Very good. If they change it, I'm very happy. So that's what I am explaining you. What are the things I'm explaining you? We will have, what is that? Resources. Resources means which resource, which bucket name. And what are the things? Actions. What are the actions you have it? Effect, allow the permissions or deny the permissions. Yes or no? You have something called as grant the permission or also deny the permissions. Principal, as I explained, principal means whom I'm providing a permissions. Then conditions. We'll talk about the condition right now, basically. Hope you understood. This is an example of AWS S3 bucket policies. So multiple examples. See here, sir, one of the good example. If you see, statement ID, allow principal. Action is AWS S3 get object, get bucket location, list object, resource is equal to 2 things you can mention it. Is it clear? Let us go through the conditions right now. Hope you understood. Clear, sir? Online people. Anyone has any questions? Yes, sir.
Master,
Yes, sir.
see, if it is the JSON, understand that it is a flower bucket opens and flower bucket ends is a one JSON format, right? That, but we have used it more than one flower bracket, right?
Yes,
But
that is one property. This is entirely one property. The statements is another property. This is one property, and then you have another property. Anything basically, if you are writing a bulk information, then whatever you want to go and provide, it starts with flower brackets and end with another.
okay, in the one JSON file, we can mention the multiple formats. You mean to say, means multiple flower brackets, which will be
Yes, sir.
multiple
For
statements.
your example, let's go and provide you an example. It's like this one. You can, I want to create a JSON, and JSON will start like this one. Now I want to write the information about my family. So I'll come up and say my family. My family means not one, multiple, lot of things are there. So I can start like this one, provide all the properties of my family, then close it off. And then I can come up and say, okay, your family details. So it's like this, sir. Got it? Properties are there. Starts, ends. One of the property I'm starting, starts, ends. In between any multiple things are there, you will provide like this. Anything which is there, you provide a comma. That's the format of JSON.
Is there any positional and
Nah. It is not having any kind of a thing that is present in YAML. YAML, you don't have it anything properly, it will not work. Here you don't have anything, lining and everything, nothing is there.
any case sensitive? It will.
Nah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
This is, yes, sir.
sir, so for example, I have created bucket and I have given every permissions, classes, notification, everything I defined it. And I from that there I can copy JSON and I create another bucket and change it there, right? So everything will be changed using JSON, like the properties in one shot. Or do we need to
I did not get you. I did not. You created one JSON format with S3 bucket policy and applied. Very good. Then what do you want to do?
No, sir. So I have created S3 bucket and manually changed everything like classes, notifications, everything, whatever I require.
What is
And
classes? What is classes? Where is classes?
it is like in the properties of the bucket. Properties are
Okay,
defined
okay.
in.
AWS storage classes, you mean to say? Okay, okay.
Okay. So like in the background, the JSON will be changed. So if you change it
No,
manually,
sir. JSON is for permissions. You are adding the files, whether the file should be in storage classes A, store standard, infrequent. That is basically the type of the file. But who is accessing that file? That should be defined in a bucket policy.
okay, only the permissions we can only
Only the
define in.
permission to whom? See, you added a file, sir, but who can access that files? Someone has to, you have to define who is that guy.
Yeah,
That
I
is
got
done
it.
with this JSON policies. Is it clear, right? Actions. Anyone has any questions? So good one. I think they did a better work. I was having 8 examples to explain, but I feel they did a very good work. Principal, let's see what are the types of principal. Principal is equal to what? Star. What is the meaning of star? Okay. What is the meaning of good? I think I'm very happy with this documentation. What is the meaning of this one?
Yeah, to all.
Okay. So anything which is related to AWS star. What is the meaning of that? They are very neatly explaining here. Very good, sir. This is very good. Okay. This is what you require. Actually, most of the things it will be. What is the meaning of you already? I told you, right? What is the meaning of principal? Any IAM user who is what is the username? Root. Multiples you can go and provide. What is the multiple means what? It will flower. It will start. This is pretty good, man. I'm happy with the documentation. Effect, allow and deny. So let's take an example of deny. They are not allowed basically. See, it's allowed or denied. It's allow and deny. They should have provided an example. That's fine. Now I don't have any problem to explain. Let's go into the very, very important, okay, conditions. Okay. That 8 examples he provided, idiot here. Cha. Okay, he changed the UI. Okay, see the permissions. See it's a good permission. This is what I want to explain you. See, I explain you this one. Can I go for multiple? One is effect is equal to what is that? Allow. Another one, what is that one? Deny. I can go and provide my wish. Deny, and I can provide it. What are the actions? But you see here, sir, very important. See here, you have lot of, what is that? What is this one? What is the condition? If you see, what is the condition? See, I am providing some permission on the top and I'm denying some permissions to Dave. What is that one? Permissions. So what is this one? Deny. Sir, I'm providing a deny to Dave. On what? He cannot do, what is that? Get object version. He cannot get the version. But on which bucket, on which file, there is a file name. This is a bucket name and happyface.jpg file. He cannot do get object. But what is the condition? I can go and provide a condition. He cannot get this particular version ID. If this version ID is equal to this one, he cannot go for it. Multiple conditions are there. For your example, I can do much more better examples here. No, I can go for good examples. Let's take an example of gradient bucket only special. See here, sir. Okay, what is this one? Statement effect action is equal to I'm allowing someone to create a bucket name. Okay, on which AWS resource? Any bucket, basically. What is the condition? But he can only do it on this particular region only. Conditions are multiple conditions, you have it. Is it clear, right? I am very much familiar or happy with this example. Server-side encryption, put object permission required, full access on a bucket, specific class. See here, this is the one which is important. This is very, very important. Okay, people, so I'm denying the permissions. Who is that? Everyone. What permission? All the permissions. Onto which bucket? This bucket. If anyone is coming from this VPC ID. Is it clear, right? It's all about my conditions. This is the way you can define your S3 bucket policies. For your example, what do? You finalize this S3 bucket policy. Sir, this is my S3 bucket policies. I want to go and provide. You copy this one, then go back to, let's log in. After so many days, I'm logging AWS console. What's the password, man? I forgot the password. What's the password? Okay. So you go back, copy that JSON file. There is a good news also, sir. I'll explain you the good news also. Go back to S3. Sir, where is the permissions? I want to provide a permissions. You have two ways. You can go to this bucket, select a bucket. Select this bucket. And what is this one? Permissions. And then what is this? Edit it and then paste your bucket policies. Is it clear, guys? Are you able to understand, right? This is the way you paste your bucket policy. Here it works like that. Anyone has any questions? This is important. So you are going to go for, okay, so bucket policies, just go for bucket policies and go. This is a very, 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 very important way to provide a permissions. Based on this one, whoever you provide an access, they will have an access into this bucket policies. Edit it and paste it. Okay. Now the next question would be bucket policies, Sir, what is this one, sir? You are already learned JSON and basically you are expert in JSON. I'm not an expert in JSON. I want to create a bucket policies, but how do you? There is a easy way. I'm not recommending you to go and learn it. If you are learning a JSON for your entire life, it is easy for you. Sir, but I want to create a bucket policy fast. So there is something called as, please go for it, AWS, okay, policy generator. It's a UI, easy. It can generate your policies. No need to write a JSON format. It will create a JSON format. You go and click on it. I want to create a policy on what is that? What is the policy, sir? S3 bucket policy. Am I allowing the permissions or denying the permissions? Allowing the principal is equal to, who is that principal? Star. Okay. Now, should I go and provide what are the actions? Now you may have a question, right? Sir, I know S3 put object, S3 get object, S3 create bucket, S3 delete bucket, S3 delete object. Any other things? There are many, sir. How do you know? Just go and click on it. So many S3 buckets here. Create bucket permission. So a lot of permissions are there. I want to go and provide delete object permission. I want to go and provide put object permission or get access. Let's take an example. Get object. Two permissions I want to go and provide. Okay. So I selected S3 bucket. What is the ARN of your bucket name? The bucket name of an ARN looks like this one. I want to go and provide only to Telugu folder. Let's take an example. Telugu folders on Telugu movies only. What is my bucket name? I can come up and say my bucket name is equal to, what is that? Movies example. And what is the folder I want to go and provide? Telugu. Telugu movies / star. Okay. Conditions. What is the conditions? So many conditions are there. So I want to go and provide a permissions. So what are the things? The condition based on what? ARN names, VPC, binary, dates. Oh, they should have a full permission from January 24th to February 1st. I can mention the date and time, binary and everything. I can come up and say, let us take an example. He is coming from Infosys. Only Infosys people IP address should be allowed. Everything is there. One of the things is I'm selecting IP address, and what is the IP address properties? in IP address, source IP address. If anyone is source IP address, Khalid is coming from Infosys. Infosys gateway starts with 89.7.8.9/32. Add the conditions, generate, add the statement. Thank you very, very, very much. The policy got generated. Okay, ID. So version, statement, statement ID, actions, two actions, S3 delete object, S3 get object, comma, effect is equal to allow. What is the resource name? This is the movie name. This is the folder name. This is the files you have it. Condition is equal to is IP address. If anyone is coming from IP address, basically 89.7.8.32, they will only have an access. I can generate using generator policy. I don't recommend you, but it's an easy way to create a generate policy. Is it clear? Anyone has any questions? Anyone has any questions? AWS S3 is completely completed. You will get around 6 to 7 AWS certification questions on S3. AWS S3 EC2 instance combined, you should get somewhere 15 questions out of 62. And AWS S3 and EC2 started in the day one when AWS started in 2006. These are the oldest AWS services, oldest AWS money generated services. Amazon.com, Amazon company making lot of money in that one. 9% of total Amazon company. Amazon.com, AWS, 9% of the revenues from AWS EC2 instance and S3. Course, sir. No, sir. S3 is completed. We have more 1.5 months to go. Any questions? Is it clear? AWS S3 is completed. I will go through small tips points are there. We will talk about that. Is it clear, guys? Anyone has any questions on S3? Very important. S3 bucket policy is very, very important. You should get some 2 to 3, 4 interview questions on these bucket policies. Yogender, you're not audible to me. Fine, guys. So let us talk about one more thing. Please write it down. AWS S3 endpoint. VPC endpoints. Please write it down. VPC endpoints. Now this is pretty simple. Again, a same policy only, sir. VPC endpoint. People can call it as S3 endpoint and everything. But let's go and understand what is meant by VPC endpoint in a very easy way. Sir, I'll take an example. I'll ask a very simple question. And we have started AWS CLI. CLI is completed. AWS CLI? No, right? That is very good. Yes. So let's talk about very simple one. There is an AWS S3 file. Think about it. There is an S3 file, and when you go for AWS CLI, you will get a better idea. There is an AWS S3 file which is present in North Virginia. Is it clear? And there is a file, and this one is having what is that? Normally URL is there. I don't want to talk about URL right now. That's fine. File is there, and you have what is this? What is this? You want to download this file to EC2 instance. Can you tell me what is the which help it will take to download the file to EC2 instance? How it will download the file? You have all the permissions. We'll talk about that one. You have all the permissions. When you click on it, it will download. AWS CLI, yes, it is not yet clear covered. Yes, sir. S3 file is there. You have one EC2 instance. Inside that EC2 instance, you want to do a download. Download will happen with the help of get object only. With the help of how it will download? From X location, file is moving into Y location with the help of internet. Is it clear? So, sir, the file is copied from here to here with the help of the internet. Now I will tell you the problem. Internet is what is that? Public. The problem here is, now I'll tell you, where is this bucket present? North Virginia. What if happen if this EC2 instance is present in North Virginia? What is the meaning? What is the meaning? The meaning is very straightforward. The meaning is, okay, both EC2 instance or S3 are in same region, maybe in a same building also, sir. S3 bucket is present in ground floor. EC2 instance is present in 8th floor. Maybe, right? Because both are in north. For file downloading from 3rd floor to 8th floor, do you require internet? Do you require internet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you sure you need internet? The file which is present in 3rd floor has to copy it into 9th floor. You need internet? Absolutely no. Go back to the first class. What did I explain you? You need a concept called as, got it? What is internet, sir? Internet is public cable because I want to communicate from to end. What is there? My server is here. My storage is present there. For these two things, you need internet wire or a normal internet cable. Yes or no? So the problem comes into picture is I don't require internet. Internally, both are in a same place. So very, very important. What is S3 endpoint? Pretty straightforward. VPC endpoint, or this is a North Virginia region. What is a VPC endpoint? I'm explaining you. And here is what is there? Your VPC. And inside a VPC, what do you have? EC2 instance. And here is what is that? Your S3 bucket, and you have certain files. And if you want to download it, right, it is using internet. Why do you want to use internet? We can use intranet kind of capabilities, right? That is called as VPC. At one point, guarantee what should be there? VPC endpoint. What is the meaning of endpoint? One AWS is talking to another AWS service within the same region using endpoint capabilities. Another name of endpoint, basically, which technically what is it is actually internally it is talking. Now there may be an interview question, like a people, very senior people, if they are coming into picture, right? What is endpoint? They'll tell an internet. Then I'll explain you, prove it. I'll tell you, EC2 instance has download the file from S3, yes or no? Using what is that? Internet. How do you prove it? Prove it. I am telling you downloaded the file with the help of internet. Prove it. How do you prove it? Very simple, sir. EC2 instance is there. EC2 instance, private subnet. Server, if anything, if wants internet, it will use IGW, internet gateway. Sorry, it uses NAT. Sorry, it uses NAT to get the data. Private servers don't have any capability to talk outside. So they use NAT. I will right click and stop NAT. And then run some command to download. No need of NAT. NAT is internet, right? NAT is not there, but the file will download. That is a proof that it is not using internet. It is using intranet capability. Locally, I can communicate. One AWS service can talk to another service. Sir, where is this VPC endpoints? And now tell me, EC2 instance, what it is doing? EC2 instance, what is that it is doing right now? EC2 instance is connecting to S3, and what it is doing? Downloading. Downloading means what is the permission it has to have? Now, how VPCs provide a permission? You will attach a policy. Let me go and show you here. Where is the topic? Go to what is that? And you have here, what is this? What is this? Endpoints. And you can create an endpoint. Now the download endpoint, AWS service. Now I want to talk at connect to what is that? Which S3? I want to go and connect to this particular endpoint, this particular endpoint, this VPC. Now this VPC will directly connect. Okay. Okay. And what is the permission this VPC will have? VPC should have permission to do what into this S3? Only download. What is that? Then that one you paste your what is that policy here. By default, what is that? Full access. From VPC you can connect to S3 and you get unlimited access. No, 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 no. From VPC I should not get it. Then go and click on it. What is that? Then, sir, how do I again generate it? don't use. So here, what is this one? What is this one? Go and create. What is this one? VPC endpoint permissions. Same, sir, but slightly changes. You provide it and generate it. VPC endpoint permission gets created and pasted. VPC endpoint or endpoints are nothing but one AWS service within the same region. Now they can communicate it without any internet. Internally, they can communicate it. No bandwidth cost, very fast and secure. That is endpoint, S3 endpoint, VPC endpoint or anything. I am done with AWS S3, completely done.
Sir,
Is it
only
clear?
within.
Yes, sir.
This is only within the region, right?
Only within
Both
the region. That is the reason. Good. That is the reason why it's very clearly saying. So the endpoint, when you select it, right, it is going and showing you that particular region. Now, if you see, I'm in North Virginia. See, if you see, I'm in North Virginia. So that is the reason, that region, within the region only. Got it, sir? Anyone has any questions here? Okay. So here is an end of S3. I will go for tomorrow. I'll explain you. I think now that it should be quicker. I should explain you Glacier as well as EFS, Elastic File System. Very fastly it should be completed. I'll go and complete it very, very fast. It's very small AWS services, important AWS services. Let me drive through that one also. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you.